Hi there, my name's Jim. This is my shed and you're welcome to it. And welcome to episode 15. The microphone woes I had last video, I did try to sort out by buying myself a little wireless mic, but I managed to get the wrong one. So I've got the wrong connector. It's an iPhone Type-C, not an iPhone Lightning, so it didn't fit. That one's going to go back and get another one. So hopefully the sound will hold up for another vid. A comment somebody made last vid made me realise that I haven't really done a full tour of the sheds. You can see, me whinging constantly about how little room I've got, but I've never really shown you how limited my space is. But so before we do the video, there's actually an aside already. So I'm going to do an aside to an aside and do a little tour of the facilities. So won't witter on really. I'll just say let's crack on. So this is the view that you generally get, and if I turn this way, you can see where's all my shelving and storage is. Helpfully storing things, my toolbox, kids' scooters, and then bike bits and bits of wood and just general. Not a whole lot of room there. And if we come back towards the pillar drill and the lathe, you can see my little bench grinder with a polishing mop bodged on one end, and that's it. And this is the other end of all the rubbish piled up. So that's the full extent of my shed. There you are. And if we look outside here, car, as you've all seen, in a tent. So that's me. At the end of the video there was some garbled, barely audible nonsense about looking at the dash and what I was going to do with that, and I thought I'd just clarify that a little bit before I get started on the meat of today's video. So here's the dash panel. I obviously need to move the instruments which currently sit here. They need to come across to sit here now. Now luckily the structure I've put in place for holding the steering wheel is not going to foul anything behind here, so that this will basically just bolt on with where the steering wheel is now, and then it's just a question of moving this dash pod from where it is across to here. So my plan for doing that is strip off all this vinyl. It comes off quite easily, all the vinyl, just take all that off, the whole dash, flatten this area off, cut off anything that's protruding, and then make a panel that'll just sit over this whole section, making that flat. Then I'll be able to cut this section off here and then just mate it, adjust, cut things about and make mounts so that will sit there on the dash like that. Obviously I need to cut the vents away and all that, but as I said, I wasn't keeping these vents. I wasn't going to keep these vents, so just need to make that fit and then make good. It'll probably have to fill in a bit here, but as I say, if I do take the vinyl off, do all the mods in plastic, try a bit of plastic welding maybe, and a bit of filling, and then get the closest vinyl I can to this and rewrap the whole thing afterwards, and that should be all right. So it's not actually that big a job, to be honest. Yeah, never done anything like it before. So as I said, if you could hear what I said before, never done anything like that before. So I'll probably come to eat those words or regret them anyway. But yeah, I don't think it looks too bad. So thought I'd just clear that up before we start the video. So now on with getting the seat in and looking at gear linkages. Original seat mount. You can see from this, I don't know if you can tell, but how compromised the original seat mounting was, because these the standard car, these are angled so far back that I had to jack the back of the seat right up to get the rake and everything right. And this was for the passenger seat. This was still sitting too far back. For the driver's seat, I had to remake this. I had to make another one of these that just dropped as far below here as I could. and then the top back was even higher, and it was just, my head was hitting the roof. It was all, anyway, all right. Need to get that off and get these bolted onto the new seats. So I'll do that now. I'm very sorry about this. Vroom, vroom. Has to be done. Now, before we can start designing the gear linkage, need to figure out the exact movement of this shaft to select the gears. Now, of course, this would have been much easier with the engine on the bench, but I didn't do it then, so I have to do it now. So first thing, I'm going to measure how far in and out is across the gate. Okay, so it's about 3/8 of an inch each way for in and out the box, and I need to figure out the angle to select each gear. For that I need, so if I use my blind as a datum, (10 degrees). Right, so we've got plus or minus 10 degrees. And the actual gate, I believe, if I go push it out and go towards the engine, that should be reversed. Yeah, there you go. So as far out the gearbox and towards the engine is reverse. So that'll determine my gate. So I've got 3/8 of an inch, 10 mil each way roughly for in and out, and about 10 degrees of rotation each way for each gear. And I know where reverse is, so I know where all the other gears are. So let's have a look inside at where the gear stick's going to go. Now I think I've managed to figure out where everything needs to sit. I've obviously gone through what I've got to fit in there. I found the original gear knob, which I was quite happy with, so I'll keep that. The gear stick itself is going to be a bit of valley tube, not that long, but this is where I'm going to make it from. Yeah, it's quite tricky keeping it all in my head. I would really, you know, this is where CAD would come into its own. I mean, being able to draw it up in CAD and then just make the bits and lab them all together would be really easy. But I've got some rough sketches of the bits. So I'm going to start by making the gear lever first. Then I'll make the frame that will go bolt into the car. And then I'll start on the linkage itself. So let's get on with that. Now, I know my dial gauge isn't at the right angle or set up on centre height, but when you're setting up a piece of square or rectangular bar in the 4-jaw, it doesn't actually need to be, because you're just looking for the edge of the flat. So any comments, go straight in the bin. Thank you very much. So just bolted it all together. This is the first time I'm going to try it. So yeah, I was going to use an old rose joint I had, but it's just too stiff and knackered. So I've just got a plastic one in here. So that might, I don't know if that's going to snap or flex or whatever, but anyway, let's just get on with it. Hey! Reverse, yeah, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And reverse. And it's got kind of a lockout, so I can't go from 5th. That's quite handy. I can't accidentally go into 5th. Look, reverse, look. You've got to come out and go back again. Oh, that's really good. I thought I was going to have to make a manual lockout or something, but it's already in the thing, so awesome. Woohoo! And there we are, we have a gear linkage. Might not be the last word in NVH. It's quite noisy, but there's no oil in the box, and obviously when things are moving it'll change a little slicker than that, I hope. I suspect it's going to be very buzzy. There's going to be probably at about 60 miles an hour, something like that, so 60, 70 miles an hour it'll be a perfect frequency, just a zzz, rattle, and all those rose joints are going to make loads of noise, but yeah, I'm more than happy with that. I think it's come out really well. I'm going to paint the frame black, I think, to try and hide it, so it'll sort of blend in with the seat, and then maybe that aluminium top plate. I mean, anyone who knows me will laugh. I'm actually thinking about putting a cup holder on it or something like that, but yeah, that's all for future. Anyway, it basically works, so happy with that. So I think that means the engine can come out and I can start building the engine up. That's probably going to be a slow process, because access to engineering facilities, a bit of a drive to use the facilities that I use over at CTM. So I have to speak nicely to Charlie and see if I can get over there and do some work, but as I say, and also get on with the dash. I'm not sure, I think next vid I'm not sure what's going to come out. I don't know. This one's been an awful lot of work. I'm going to have a few days off because it's been I spent a lot of time out here getting that linkage all put together, so I won't say I need a break, but I certainly need to focus on some other stuff, like jobs around the house, need doing and things like that, so I'll get on with that. But, so it just remains for me to say cheers, good health, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.